Alright, so welcome back. Hoping you guys are all having a fabulous day. Today, we are talking about Zenless Zone Zero. It's been a little bit of time since we last talked about this game. First, talking about it regarding its actual release date, which seemingly is in a couple of weeks. Make sure you mark your calendars for that and be ready. There is a live presentation, I think, coming actually before the game does go live, giving you some details and such, similar to how other MiHoYo games have gotten launched and other games generally. Gacha games, that is, right? But today we're going to talk about some stuff here regarding Zenless Zone Zero, an interview that was conducted a few weeks ago, and this interview does bring us some nice little confirmations and such about the game, and cool little things, cool little aspects, cool little drops of information about what they're planning and what they're cooking up and what the behind the scenes is sort of like. So today, let's jump into it. New to the channel, as always, like and subscribe, helps out a ton. Let's hop over there and let's break it down. So hopping into it, this interview again was taken, I think, or basically took place about 2-3 weeks ago. It was again more so diving into behind the scenes stuff regarding the dev team and some future plans the dev team has. I'm only going to take out like the big snippets of this because it's a long article. Not really much was very important here. Most of it's like repeated information and such, and things that you would just kind of not care about. But I took out like the big parts, the chunks, okay, about the good stuff. So here we go. Like the sneak peek I was trying to say. The Zenless Zone Zero team and collaboration. The development team behind HoYoverse's massive games has largely been a mystery, though Lee offered some context on how ZZZ, the team behind it, correct, that handmade art came to be. Lee, the person we're speaking to in the interview here, said it began with only 12 people in its initial demo stages in 2020, before growing to around 60 people during its first closed beta test. Now, it's ballooned to more than 400 team members. Zenless Zone Zero's development is very young, there you go, and a lot of us came from different backgrounds. Lee said we have veterans from the gaming industry, but also the young talent who shares the same values and are all passionate about getting involved in the creation of an interesting product indeed. Some team members, including myself, had experiences working on HoYoverse's other projects. Take me, for instance. I used to take care of CG, animation, and video for Honkai Impact III. Wow. Lee clarified that ZZZ team only works on their project rather than swapping between other HoYoverse properties, and that collaboration between the game, different game teams is quite rare. Not that it doesn't exist, Lee said. I'll check with other teams for an advisor, such as for the technical aspects. But again, basically they're trying to say here, there's other MiHoYo games, HoYoverse games, whatever. They're not, per se collaborating constantly. They're not just switching up like, oh, let's work on, HoYoverse's Honkai games here. No, they're just sticking to Zenless. Yes, they're going to collaborate between each other, but they're not going to, again, basically swap work. So I go with that. Yeah. Zenless Zone Zero inspirations. Lee acknowledged that ZZZ team received many comparisons to Persona 5, with both sharing a stylish city setting, though he said they are hoping to create something unique. And though there may be some visual and music similarities, the heart of the game doesn't have its roots in Persona. Aside from the urban setting, one element that reminds Persona players, like myself, of Atlas series is ZZZ's time system. Similar to Persona's, again, 5, ZZZ has 4 points in the day, with different activities available at time, or as time passes, with mission completion and other triggers. Lee explained his inspiration for ZZZ's time mechanic was actually instead from a much older game, or a more, again, thing important to his childhood, which is Digimon World, which, holy hell, my man's cooking out here. Digimon World? Oh my god. Dude, what the amount of money I'd pay for a Digimon collaboration in this game, though no one would. Apparently Digimon's a fallen off IP. Holy hell, but it's insane. Digimon World. The 1999 game also features a clock with specific events that happen at particular times throughout the day. That's sick as hell. The other major inspiration, surprisingly, was Street Fighter 6. Though ZZZ is an action game, more akin to DMC and not a fighting game, you can see the inspirations in its fast combat, emphasis on stunning enemies, and chaining combos. Pretty cool stuff. I'm not gonna lie, pretty cool stuff. Next up, we'll get to this point over here. We skipped one of the segments, but potential future of Zenless Zone Zero. When ZZZ launches on July 4th, it will be available on PlayStation 5, mobile devices, and PC. I don't know if this is the first HoYoverse game to launch simultaneously everywhere. I don't know if Genshin did it, but I think this is close, but I don't know if Genshin did it. I know Honkai didn't. I tried covering that. I'm like, dude, this is on a console, damn it. But it's on PS5 again, day one, correct? Belize said if they're not stopping development there, they're working to bring ZZZ to Nintendo Switch and Xbox 2. We've heard that before. Though Lee framed ZZZ's arrival on these platforms as a hope and not something quite set in stone. It's not happening. Don't listen to them. It's never happening. As a live service game, though, it is set in stone that ZZZ will get content updates. Lee confirmed this will include things like expansions to the city with new neighborhoods, shops, and, of course, characters. Obviously, it's a gacha game. We have a basic framework of the story timeline, but we're also a very flexible team. Lee said when asked about how far they've planned the ZZ story, we continuously or constantly review what we've created in the past to see if we can continue to utilize it or have better ideas and solutions. So again, a pretty simple segment. It's a gacha game. We know that. A lot of stuff here is kind of known. Again, I do wonder if this game will ever see collaborations. You kind of see it in other Hoyoverse games. They don't really do collaborations. I think Honkai Impact the Third is like the only thing that actually does a collaboration. Yes, there's like those small promotional like KFC collab. They don't want that, you know. We straight up want to play as like, again, yes, I'm not counting that one Genshin PSN collab, but outside of that, we do want to see like some cool collaborations. Like, you know, imagine people were talking about like Fate potentially being a collaboration in Honkai. It would be a pretty cool thing, dude. Imagine using Chun-Li straight up in Zenless, you know what I mean? Imagine getting Digimon in here as like one of the things. I don't know. There's a lot of potential, but will it actually ever happen? We'll have to see. Hoyoverse, again, is not a one to collaborate per se, but potential maybe is there for this one. You know, every game's different. They don't have to be the same just because Hoyoverse is like that. Who knows? Who knows? For the last segment over here, when designing these characters, we would always consider what players haven't seen before. One international Hoyoverse fan request has been for better representation in characters, especially in Hoyoverse games that feature real-life inspirations of diverse cultures yet neglect to reflect the people who live there. Steps to reflect these international audiences have been taken to varying degrees, and ZZZ's Amalgamation City provides fresh opportunity to do more. In Zenless Zone Zero, we have created a wide range of characters. When designing these characters, we would always consider what players haven't seen before. We want to ensure characters of various types are included so players can look forward to more imaginative designs that will surprise them in the future. I think our team has added almost everything we want for the launch, and the game is ready for players. Lee said, however, of course, we have plenty of interesting ideas and plans for the game in the future, which we will share more at the right time. One thing in particular we want to share is a multiplayer battle mode, which is already under development. I hope players can look forward to this mode in the future version updates. So again, don't know when it's launching, but yes, multiplayer is a plan here. I would be shocked if this game of this stature does not do multiplayer. I'm curious on what multiplayer they determine that to be. Is it cooperative or is it straight up multiplayer, right? PvP in this thing would be actually freaking wild. I would be so happy to see PvP. I know that people always complain about PvP, especially when there was a one rumor coming out back then with like Genshin. Potentially having PvP, players were losing their minds, calling it like dead game, stuff like that, because, you know, whale heaviness plays a factor. But other games have done PvP properly. Whatever it is, MHA TSH is like one of those games. Though it shut down, it's dead now, but it had a wonderful PvP system. It doesn't matter what you do to your character, you just have to obtain the character, and the character's maxed out already, ready for you to play in PvP. It's all a matter of skill and which character has the better abilities to counter whatever character, right? In other games like Grand Cross or other games that have PvP that are, again, ladder heavy, they require more non-skill stuff. They require you to have the character and dupe the character out and have gear for the character and the cosmetics for the character and other things to amplify the character. But some games have done it right. They've done PvP right. So I do wonder if this game can handle it. In my opinion, MHA TSH had the best PvP ever. Basically, it's a PvP where you don't have to do anything other than obtain the character. That's it. And it's maxed out. It's pure skill from that point onwards. Fight how you want to fight. Play how you want to play. Just be the other person. That's it. And I think for the most part, that was the most flawless PvP I've ever played. And again, though the game's dead, I know that. It's there, but, you know, potential is there still. But let me know what you think. That is the entire video here. A lot of new information, again, a lot of just talk with the devs and such. And again, for what it is, the game does have a lot, in my opinion, breath of fresh air when it comes to it. And I am curious if you will be playing it or not. And yeah, I'll wrap the video there. Take care, have fun, and peace out, everyone. Yeah.